After studying this module, you shall be able to know what is forgery. You will learn about the different types of forgery. You will be able to identify the types of forgery. Forgery may be defined as the creation of any false return document or alteration of a genuine one with intent to defraud. Forgery may consist of filling up a blank on a document containing a genuine signature or materially using or altering or erasing instrument. The casual intent to swindle grounded on knowledge of wrong nature of the instrument must complement the act. The modes of forgery may include bills of exchange, bills of lading, promissory notes, checks, bonds, receipts, order for money or goods, mortgages, discharge of mortgages, deeds, bonds, records, account books, and certain kinds of tickets or passes for transportation or events, etc. To a great or lesser extent, almost all individuals have the ability to distort their handwriting or signature. How successful one is depends on his or her awareness of his or her own writing or signature. The amount of writing or the number of signatures that need to be disguised or distorted and his or her creativity. Individuals may be motivated to produce a signature that will they deny at later time. This has been encountered involving government checks, acknowledgement receipts of property, leases, business contracts, etc. Disguise can be accomplished by changing the slant, increasing or reducing the size of the signature, distorting the letter design, reducing or increasing speed, or any combination of these processes. Disguised signature that are produced at leisure with practice usually will be more successful than those that must be produced in the presence of a tailor or delivery person. The success of attempt to disguise is also increased if the true individual is the sole source of standards for comparison. If the individual has the opportunity to cull or carefully select exemplars submitted to forensic document expert, one can assume that only those that appear different will be produced. The most famous case of forgery in the 20th century took place in 1983 with the discovery of Hitler's diaries. The diaries supposedly contain passages written by German dictator Adolf Hitler between 1932 and 1945. The magazine Newsweek and Paris Match, along with other media, paid more than $5 million for documents. Major news sources around the world quickly published major stories detailing the historical information that the diaries alleged contained. Investigative experts from around the world later conducted forensic examinations on the diaries, and the documents were found to be fake. Law. Section 464 of Indian Penal Code says that making a false document. A person to make a false document or false electronic record, first, who dishonestly or fraudulently makes the sign, seals or executes a document or part of a document, makes or transmit any electronic record or part of any electronic record, affixes any electronic signature on any electronic record, makes any mark denoting the execution of a document or the authenticity of the electronic signature, with the intention of causing it to be believed that such document or part of a document, electronic record or electronic signature was made, signed, sealed, executed, transmitted or affixed by or by the authority of a person or by whom or by whose authority he knows that it was made, signed, sealed, executed or affixed. Or secondly, who without lawful authority dishonestly or fraudulently by cancellation or otherwise alters a document or an electronic record in any material part thereof after it has been made, executed or affixed with electronic signature either by himself, by any other person, whether such person be living or dead at the time of such alteration, or thirdly, who dishonestly or fraudulently causes any person to sign, seal, execute or alter a document or an electronic record or to affix his electronic signature or any electronic record, knowing that such person by reason of unsoundness of mind or intoxication cannot, or that by means of deception practiced upon him, he does not know the contents of the document or electronic record or the nature of alterations. Illustrations. A has a letter of credit upon B for rupees 10,000 returned by Z. A, in order to defraud B, adds a cipher to the 10,000 and makes the sum 1 lakh, intending that it may be believed by B that Z so wrote the letter. A has committed forgery. B. A without Z's authority affixes Z's seal to a document perpetuating to be a conveyance of an estate from Z to A with the intention of selling the estate to B and thereby of obtaining from B the purchase money. A has committed forgery. C. A picks up a check on a banker signed by B payable to bearer but without any sum having been inserted in the check, fraudulently fills up the check by inserting the sum of 10,000 rupees. A commits forgery. D. A leaves with B, his agent, a check on a banker signed by A without inserting the sum payable and authorizes B to fill up the check by inserting a sum not exceeding 10,000 rupees for the purpose of making certain payment. B fraudulently fills up the check by inserting the sum of 20,000 rupees. B commits forgery. E. A draws a bill of exchange on himself in the name of B without B's authority, intending to discount it as a genuine bill with the banker and intending to take up the bill on its maturity. Here, as A draws the bill with intent to deceive a banker by leading him to suppose that he had the security of B and thereby to discount the bill, A is guilty of forgery. F. Z's will contain these words, I direct that all my remaining property be equally divided between A, B and C. Dishonestly scratches out B's name, intending that it may be believed that the whole was left to himself and C. A has committed forgery. G. A endorses a government promissory note band, make it payable to Z or his order by writing on the bill the words pay to Z or his order and signing the endorsement. B. Dishonestly erases the words pay to Z or his order and thereby converts the special endorsement into bank endorsement. B commits forgery. H. A sells and conveys an estate to Z. A afterwards, in order to defraud Z of his estate, executes a conveyance of the same state to B dated 6 months earlier than the date of conveyance to Z, intending it to be believed that he had conveyed the state to B before he conveyed it to Z, A has committed forgery. I. Z dictates his will to A. A intentionally writes down a different legate from legate named by Z, and by representing to Z that he has prepared the will according to his instruction induces Z to sign the will. A has committed forgery. J. A writes a letter and signs it with B's name without B's authority, certifying that A is a man of good character and in distressed circumstances from unforeseen misfortune, intending by means of such letter to obtain alms from Z and other persons. Here, A has made a false document in order to induce Z to part with property. A has committed forgery. K. A without B's authority writes a letter and signs it in B's name, certifying to A's character, intending thereby to obtain employment under Z. A has committed forgery in as much as he intended to deceive Z by forged certificate and thereby to induce Z to enter into an express or implied contract for service. Explanation 1. A man's signature of his own name may amount to forgery. Illustrations. A. A signs his own name to a bill of exchange, intending that it may be believed that the bill was drawn by another person of the same name. A has committed forgery. B. A writes the word accepted on a piece of paper and signs it with Z's name in order that B may afterwards write on the paper a bill of exchange drawn up by B upon Z and negotiated the bill as though it had been accepted by Z. A is guilty of forgery, and if B, knowing the fact, draws the bill upon the paper pursuant to A's intention, B is also guilty of forgery. A picks up a bill of exchange payable to the order of different person of the same name. A endorses the bill in his own name, intending to cause it to be believed that it was endorsed by the person whose order it was payable. Here, A has committed forgery. A purchases an estate sold under execution of a decree against B. B, after decisive of the state in collusion with Z, executes a lease of the state of Z at nominal rent and for a long period and dates the lease the lease 6 months prior to the seizure with intent to defraud A and to cause it to be believed that this lease was granted before seizure. B, though he executes the lease in his own name, commits forgery by antedating it. E. A trader in anticipation in solvency launches affects with B for A's benefit with intent to defraud his creditor, and in order to give a color to the transaction writes a promissory note binding himself to pay B a sum for value received and antedates the note, intending that it may be believed to have been made before. A was on the point of insolvency. A has committed forgery under the first head of the definition. Explanation 2. The making of false document in the name of fictitious person, intending it to be believed that the document was made by a real person, or in the name of deceased person, intending it to be believed that the document was made by the person in his lifetime, may amount to forgery. Illustration A. Draws a bill of exchange upon a fictitious person and fraudulently accepts the bill in the name of such fictitious person with intent to negotiate it. A commits forgery. Explanation 3. For the purpose of this section, the expression affixing to electronic signature shall have the meaning assigned to it in the clause D of subsection 1 of section 2 of the Information Technology Act 2000. Non-genuine signature identified as genuine. There are occasions when a case will arise involving a dispute signature that truly tests a document examiner. What is being referred to are situations where an individual will, for a variety of reasons, identify as genuine a signature that he or she did not sign. To further complicate the problem, the individual will sometimes submit and identify as genuine simulations that were written by the forger. Types of cases where this confusing scenario occurs include physical examination for insurance and where others are hired to take tests for educational or professional certificates. In the first instance, individual wants to obtain insurance knowing that they have a disqualifying illness or medical condition, and in the second instance they are trying to get a better scholastic standing or a professional license or accreditation. This also occurs when individuals wish to establish an LLB or claim pay for work allegedly performed. As can be expected, these types of problems are difficult to resolve. The question signature may be a practice simulation that is explained as an unusual variation of genuine signature. As strange and confusing as the scenario sounds, it is based on the experience of number of document examiners. Sort of confusion, the only way or possible way of resolving this type of problem is to obtain credible, contemporaneous, normal course of business signature and apply basic principle in the examination. Types of forgery. For the purpose of the subject of identification and comparison of signature and writing, forgeries may be classified as freehand, simulated or copied forgery, traced forgery, forgery by memory, forgery without model or forgery by impersonation. Simulated forgery. A successful simulation of a signature involves a double process. The successful forger must discard all of his or her own habits and at the same time assume those unfamiliar characteristics of another writer. Writing is not just one or two simple habits, but a multitude of habits which vary in complexity and which are routinely woven together into intricate pattern. The conscious mental task of trying to successfully stimulate another's even minimally complicated signature is enormous. The forger must struggle with using a strange writing process in place of his or her own well-established habitual writing movement. Practiced freehand simulations are generally the most skillful forgeries. To produce a perfect freehand simulation, the forger must be aware of and reproduce the habits and line qualities of the authenticate signature. He or she should simultaneously discard all conflicting elements of his or her writing. The writer must discover from a detailed study of the model of signature that is to be imitated all its unique features and must know enough about the corresponding characteristics of his or her own writing to be able to imitate their influence in final simulation. This process involves writing the simulations in the same natural way and with the same degree of skill and speed as a genuine signature. Failure generally results because the forger has only a superficial idea of a few characteristics of both his or her own writing and writing to be simulated, or because his or her skill as a penman fails to measure up to that of the person whose writing is being imitated. Even having circumvented all of these pitfalls, the executive task of execution leaves only a slight probability of success if examined properly by a competent document examiner. In this type of forgery, the forger selects a model, signature or writing and tries to copy the design of letters and other broad features depending upon his skill, practice and competency. Such an attempt in most of the cases results in crude forgery. However, in some cases the forger competent enough to make a simulation which at first may appear to be genuine and may be passed as genuine by those who compare only the general outline of letter and gives little importance to the line quality and other minute details. A forger may be able to acquire all the writing habit of another individual by a long practice, but practically it is not possible to adopt each and every writing habit of another person and to avoid one's own writing habits to interact in the process of forgery, and the forger is likely to fail all attempts. Writing is the visible record of very complicated series of acts controlled by mental and muscular habits of a writer acquired by a long continued practice. With repeated use, the handwriting becomes so automatic that it cannot be easily discarded or acquired at will. This is one of the basic principles of handwriting comparison. The dilemma that initially confronts a forger is that in order to capture the design, one needs to sacrifice speed, and in order to have speed in writing, he or she will sacrifice the movement, letter design and other unique features of true person signature. A perfect simulation would be one where the reproduction is indistinguishable from genuine signatures in terms of execution and design. As one can readily appreciate it, the less complex and consistent true person's signature are, the more easily they can be stimulated. While document examiners are not able to determine intent, they can evaluate whether an attempt has been made to pictorially reproduce, that is simulated, a genuine signature. Motivates with incites the forger to simulate a genuine signature, mainly to extort money illegally, and it is this anticipation of gain and urges a person to do such wrongful actions. Other options may be domestic or personal satisfaction. Trace forgery, as the name indicates, trace forgery is prepared by drawing the outline of a genuine signature by the process of tracing. A tracing is usually produced in one of two ways. The first, which can be best be termed as the transmitted light process, is prepared by placing the spurious document directly over the genuine signature and while directing a strong light through the two sheets from below, tracing the outline on the uppermost sheet. The second technique, which may be designated as the carbon outline method, it is completed in the manner like a sheet of carbon paper or similar material is placed between the top sheet, which bears the genuine signature, and the spurious document below. Then the outline of the model signature is traced with a pointed instrument to give a carbon offset on the lower sheet. This outline can subsequently be covered over with broad ink stroke. Often, when the ink stroke fails to cover the underlying outline completely, an attempt is made to erase the outline. While possible forgeries may be prepared by either of these methods, each has its inherent faults and weakness that give it way. A tracing prepared by transmitted light technique has additional potential defects. Even with strong light and thin paper, some of the subtle details of the model signature are not clear to imitator as he follows the outline, while the thicker paper and weaker light source, a greater number of fine details are missed. The signature is produced not by writing process but by drawing. Only the exceptional individual can, with practice, trace accurately with a fast free pen movement. The faults of freehand or simulated reproduction also can be found in tracing. A typical trace signature is drawn with slow measured stroke, which is usually filled with points of hesitation, uncertain movement and sudden abrupt turns or jogs. This class of reproduction typically contains uniformly heavy stroke that lacks natural shading or pen emphasis common to natural writing. It is not unusual for trace signature to display patching and retouching made in an effort to correct letter forms. Retouching may even be made with the pen moving in direction opposite to the writer's usual movement. in addition to pen lifts or breaks, followed by careful. There also may indications that the pen stopped in the course of a stroke but remained on the paper before continuing. The forger must carefully consider each letter before he or she attempts to reproduce it. The result may be pictorially consistent with known signatures, but the line quality is clearly different. One of the most common methods used by forger is to make an outline of genuine signature on a paper by use of a carbon paper. A carbon paper is placed in between the paper bearing the model signature and the paper which is to bear the forged signature. The tracing is done with the help of pointed instrument to make a carbon outline on the paper. A conventional writing instrument is then carefully moved over the carbon outline to conceal the carbon impression and to give the appearance of its being genuine. The indentation so produced serve as guidelines which are then filled with ink with writing instrument to complete the forgery. The most popular method these days is transmitted light method. The forger places a paper which is to bear the forged signature over the document bearing genuine signature, and then both the document are placed against a window pane. The outline of signature thus made visible by the sunlight passing through the paper are placed on a glass table and the light is projected from under to increase the translucency of the paper. A forged signature can only be branded as a traced forgery when the actual model signature from which it was traced is discovered. The pencil or carbon outlines are present along the signature indicating tracing process. The indented outlines are present along with the strokes of signature. Two or more forged signatures showing marked suspicious similarities or rubber stamp effects are present and they superimpose each other in their major parts. Forgery by memory. Forgery by memory refers to the signature or writing prepared from mental impression of the form of letters of signatures, writings of the actual writer and without any model signature before the forger at the time of forgery. Such forgeries are usually the combination of normal handwriting of the forger and letter bearing some resemblance with the signatures or writing of actual writer. The degree of resemblance of course dependent on the ability of the forger to memorize and reproduce the letter forms. Such type of forgeries can be easily detected and proved because forgery by memory is primitive type of forgery and no forger can memorize or reproduce all the features of the signature or writing to be forged. Forgery by impersonation of forger or forgery without model. When the person merely writes, sign the name or another person in his own handwriting in normal manner or in some modified manner representing himself to be that person with some ulterior motive such as signature is a forgery. In this type of forgery, no attempt is made to simulate or trace from model signature, and once the genuine signature or the actual person is available, the forgery is obvious and to prove the same is not difficult. In case of forgery by impersonation, the position is however different. In this type of forgery, the forger may be just write the name signature of the other person in his own handwriting without even knowing the style of writing of the person. In such case, it may be possible to trace out forgery by comparison of spurious signature with aggregate specimen of signature of the specimen. This is identifying the forger. After determining that a perpetrator's signature is not genuine, the next assignment may be identify who prepared the forgery. Often the question cannot be answered since the process of stimulating and tracing are not writing but drawings and are also forms of disguise. Identification of the forger is the exception rather than rule. Seldom do enough of the forger's own writing habits remain to serve as the basis for an identification. Comparison of a forger's own signature to his or her simulation of another person's signature is not generally productive. A credible and comparable sampling of the known handwriting of the suspected forger must be obtained for any chance of an identification. In rare instances, however, the forger may be identified by number of his or her subtle and possibly highly individual habits that occur in the simulated signature. It must be understood that positive proof of forger's identity cannot be based upon one or two similarities between the simulation and the suspect's writing. An identification of writers of forged signature may be made if the simulation only duplicates the silent features of the true person's signature, but remainder of the simulation reflects the actual writing characteristics of the forger. The forger's unconscious writing habits can on occasion be found in the forged signature. With spurious or non-imitated signatures, especially those in which the writer did not attempt to change or disguise his natural writing, it is much easier to establish who prepared the questioned signature. In these circumstances, it may be difficult to collect adequate known writing upon which to base an opinion. Once these specimens are available, the problem reverts to establishing the link between the writing of the forger and the disputed signature. Many times similarities can be pointed out letter by letter or even better by a combination of characters. A major consideration, of course, is that a forger writes with required skill to have produced the questioned signature. There are many cases in which a suspect has been requested to write forged name and identification made from these request specimens. The possibility of disguise in request exemplar must always be considered. Let us summarize what we have learned in this module. Forgery may be defined as the creation of any false return document or alteration of a genuine one with the intent or defraud. A famous case of forgery in 20th century is case of Hitler's diary. Section 464 of Indian Penal Code defines the forgery. There are four types of forgery: simulated forgery, traced forgery, forgery by memory, and forgery by impersonation. The degree of resemblance, of course, depends on the ability of forger to memorize and reproduce the letter forms.